Week number 2 of PLQs in the EMEA region would bring a familiar face and a new challenger to the arena. The ALGS Super Sub Mandy would be joining forces with 2/3 of the solo queue goats, Shiv and Zerifer. But even with all the experience and firepower on that roster, even they wouldn't be able to keep up with the two squads at the front of the pack. So who was able to qualify thanks to the help of back-to-back-to-back victories? Let's get down and do what it do. PLQ number 2, TLDR EMEA edition. And to start things off in game number 1, it took a lot of teams a little bit to get going, with only 2 teams recording double-digit points and plenty of the quote-unquote favorites going out early. But it was the squad of Red Dragons able to play from the high ground, basically giving themselves a free win simply based off their positioning.
And now Red Dragon are the only team on top. 4 squads left alive. I'm 100% sure all left standing below here.
Your winners from semi-finals lobby 2 have 2 on the low ground, and Red Dragon are just essentially going to wait. They get a free win on this, and Plushka's gonna drop down, try to clean things up, make sure they get any kind of KP. But that is, dare I say, Zephyr, the freest win for them, because they played that so impressively, knowing where they needed to hold the zone, knowing where they needed to lie in wait and apply the pressure when needed. And that was just impressive.
And not only a win to help jumpstart the vibes, but adding 13 KP, sitting at 25 points. And I think a lot of people were wondering if this may be a sign of things to come, while some of our watch partiers couldn't help but feel left out just a little bit with no POV to peek in on the action.
The one team I wanted to watch today so bad, and they don't stream, man. Dude. I mean, congratulations, but the POV. A 13 kill Revenant win.
Then we would be off to Skyhook for game number 2, which would mean plenty of layers and plenty of space for plenty of teams to try and squeeze into the end game. And with Dragons going out in 12th,
jump down to the bottom. Red Dragon, your map 1 winners have fallen. This opens the door for them to take down that points disparity that they had garnered from map number 1. Will it be 40% worse? Will it be Shiv?
There would be an opportunity for teams to try and play catch up, and 202 would be able to do just that, adding 12 KP to their first place finish, giving them 24 altogether for game number 2, doing such a great job of playing wide, taking space with all 4 other teams on top of one another as that final circle started to close, which would actually start forcing all 4 of those teams westward as well.
I don't think that's happening. The pull is over towards that western side, and it is extremely likely that they are going to be eliminated. From Team Listen, though, opting to play from the Valkyrie, utilize this rotation at the very end, give them but seconds to spare. I don't know if it's too early, but I'll tell you what, it's better than dropping directly down.
Ooh. OB here, clearing out their backside. Bloodhound scan effective to make sure no one is going to be hiding underneath the dark veil to split them, and basically trying to stay just a little bit safer as teams are rotating. The Digi-Threat, though, going to provide a lot of information through the smoke for Shiv. The duo, 40% worse, trying to throw down and find elimination points. That will be preferential, but Shiv gets caught off guard as the Team 3 looks down him at the line side. Stay healthy, falls, and now Zeri is going to fall as well. Shiv, last standing here in the final 4. Zephyr, can they withhold?
Stuck on the other side, though, will be taken out as we take it to 202 here. And Team Listen from above. 202 on the other side of the wall with less than enough space to contest here. Meanwhile, behind a castle wall, Team Listen are finally forced to move out from their cover here. Now out in the open behind the mobile shield. 202 look for the opportunity to find a minor bit of damage, but Rakafaka looking lower and lower as Kumbra goes down from the height. Another knock found for Team Listen. 2v1 situation from behind. The minor double knocks in a 1v1. They pop off as 202 finds the wind in the end.
Putting 202 within reach of first, stay healthy right behind them, and then players in Team Listen rounding out the top 5. But it would be teams like 40% worse and Passion, 2 teams that garnered a lot of conversations heading into the finals, both sitting outside of the top 10. But in our last game on World's Edge, it would be those 2 popping off for 20 plus points, along with players grabbing 19 of them as well. And when you've got 3 teams soaking up all the points like that, there's really not much left to go around for the rest of the lobby. But even with that, an exciting endgame just outside of Monument and Climatizer, but it would be Passion on the high ground who seem to be in the favored position.
I mean, it's going to come down to a decision, and even I'd be curious. They know he survived for that long. You know it's a single person left alive. Send it. Just, walk on top of him, take him away, and Passion have a space to play here. The only worry, though, is they've got players on the other side whose attention apparently is on them, and 40% worse, albeit alive, are left with 3 opportunity, 3 survivability.
Now we wait. The Rolling Thunder's coming in. Denze throwing down a lot of damage. Good shield swap right there, but Zero will fall. Dark Veil pushing towards Passion, and now last standing for them. It's either going to be players or it's 40% worse. Who is it going to be? The fact that you're still alive is absolutely chaotic. Passion has fallen. Now 40% worse. Mandy, Shiv, Zerifer walk into a clean engagement and take map number 3.
But it would be 40% worse, able to walk away with the dub. 24 points, propelling them into 3rd place. Players overtaking Red Dragon for the lead, and Passion jumping up into that top 5 as well, sitting in 4th place. So meaning we'd have a lot of movement in our leaderboard heading off to Storm Point for our final 3 games. And just like in APAC South in week number 2 PLQs, where our first game on Storm Point would give us a taste of things to come, it would be Passion and players both popping off with double-digit KP. Left in a 3v3, and Passion bringing the heat.
Players versus Passion. Taisheen as a solo rat here for the likes of Calm.
Honestly, they do still have a Dark Veil available to Passion. They could essentially isolate players out and just ignore Taisheen at that point and just clean them up towards the end. But if you're Taisheen, you're waiting for that albeit 3v3 engagement that you can seek to third party and maybe grab some KP.
Looks like players know the involvement of Taisheen already after they were kind of the ones who got involved in that initial take versus Comp and didn't finish the job. You can see them clearing space and jumping across there. That's that full elimination. And now a 3v3 scenario. The perfect black hole from above is not immediately eliminated. Still though, Denze with the peek over on the side with the alternator will find massive damage, but not before he himself falls out on the backside. Still though, Passion from above, Passion wrapping around here, Passion with the choke on the knockdown, find the win in game 4.
But it would be players in the lead after 4 games. Not because of a single big game or a W, but by simply being consistent all series long. And that would continue once again in game number 5. Fantastic zone read, not only by players, but Passion as well. So with players still alive and kicking this late, Passion would need to bring the action, and they did just that, winning their fight in the top 4, essentially forcing the fight between Myth and players. And with Myth barely edging out their fight for second, left standing in a 1v3 with Passion closing in, and that point gap in game number 5 would widen. The lead for players has been decimated, and matter of fact, that 23-point game would give Passion a 7-point lead heading into the final game of the series. And realistically, this was now just a 2-horse race, and Passion was looking to lock up their Pro League spot.
And I'll tell you what, when it comes down to it, this comes down to the race between players and Passion at this point. I mean, Red Dragon, the next closest, is 35 points behind. And I'll be honest, I've never seen a team eclipse 35 points in a game. I have literally never seen a team eclipse 35, right? And so at this point, it comes down to 2 teams, the likes of Passion, a roster filled with Pro League experience, 0-0, Denze, YoBoyCue, or players, guys like Fitu, coming back into the fray here after years alongside major pushers, Jukes, and Kaza, finally in his first iteration away from the original 7, 8, 9 roster. One of these 2 teams will be going to Pro League after a break.
But in game number 6, there wasn't any quit in either team. Both of them keeping it low and slow. And Passion realizing with the lead being what it was, that they could solely focus on placement to bring this game home. And it'd be players that were needing to up the tempo. And not only were they unable to do that, but they had fallen 5th, meaning they'd be stuck watching from the sidelines as Passion would be able to not only lock up their 3rd straight dub, but they'd also secure their spot for Pro League.
It's definitely something that forces moves from Made in Heaven. The wall is down. They've split the fight. Rolling Thunder as well here. Double knocks as they'll be eliminated, and now they have to turn immediately and fight the Rats.
This is going to be a really good game for the Rats. It's well needed. Coming into the final map of the day with 15 points. These are preseason qualifier points as we can shoot up the leaderboard and take charge for them. But it's Passion who want to end this in a dominating fashion. Kraber in hand, that no-scope not necessarily going to connect for you, but that one will. Hopefully, point-blank action. Passion and Rats doing a little bit of dance here in the endgame.
Denze there, no shield swaps available, but a quick wraparound seals the third win in a row for Passion. And as we've said it again, the obvious spot in Pro League.
And even though that is back-to-back top 8s in these first 2 PLQs, players is still going to need to make sure that they turn up these next few weekends as well, because if there's anything that these first 2 weeks have shown us, it's that a lot of teams are showing consistency early and you really don't have time for an off week.
Just getting to finals maybe isn't potentially enough anymore. In the past, you used to be a team that could get there as 3 or 4 and make your way directly into Pro League just simply because you happen to get to finals every time. If we continue to see double-digit numbers show up every single week, it doesn't come down just to your presence. It does finally come down to your performance.
Which does make me wonder if even a team like 40% Worse is going to be able to close that gap and take a Pro League spot without winning one of these next 2 weekends. Y'all already know we're going to be tuning in as much as possible right here on the channel, as well as breaking down the action with videos just like this. So if you enjoyed the video and y'all want to make sure you're sticking up to date with every region every week when it comes to ALGS, make sure you're checking down below after you've hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and turn those notifications on. So we do catch y'all back over here for the next one, man. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be sincere, game hard and love hard. All right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.